They moved me to the basement. But according to my contract, workspace assignments required written notice and consultation. I received neither. The email went to the entire consulting division, 63 people. Subject line: Office reallocation, effective immediately. My name appeared third on the list. Level 3 analysts were being consolidated to optimize floor space. The executive floor needed expansion. I was the only Level 3 analyst on that list. Everyone else held junior titles, entry-level hires, people who'd been with the firm less than 6 months. I'd been there 4 years. My office had a window. My new desk sat between the server room and the supply closet. The fluorescent lights hummed constantly. No natural light, no privacy. A folding table someone had labeled shared workspace. The partner who sent the email, Gerald Whitmore, CC'd himself, HR, and the regional director. I didn't reply. I cleared my desk that afternoon, packed my files into archive boxes, disconnected my monitors, walked downstairs without questions. People stared. I kept my expression neutral. Fiona, one of the junior consultants, whispered as I passed, "Are you okay?" "Fine," I said, "just following instructions." I spent the first week setting up the basement workspace. The folding table wobbled. I requisitioned rubber pads through the facilities portal. They arrived 3 days later. I installed them myself. The server room generated heat. The air circulation was poor. I submitted a maintenance request. No response. I didn't follow up. My calendar showed 3 client meetings scheduled for the following week. 2 were petroleum sector assessments. 1 was a logistics audit for a shipping company based in Singapore. All 3 were projects I'd led for the past 18 months. On Monday morning, I received calendar updates. All 3 meetings had been reassigned to Gerald Whitmore. No explanation, no transfer memo, just automated notifications showing him as the new organizer. I opened my project files. Access remained unchanged. I could still see everything: client briefs, analysis frameworks, preliminary reports I'd drafted over the past 6 months. I didn't ask why the meetings were reassigned. I opened a new folder on my personal drive, labeled it Archive, Q4 Client Work. I began copying files. Every email I'd sent to clients, every analysis document, every meeting summary with my name in the author metadata. I downloaded the version history showing dates and edit timestamps. I worked methodically. No rush. By Wednesday, I had a complete record of 14 months of client development work. The petroleum assessments had been my initiative. I had identified the compliance gap in their environmental reporting structure. I had built the assessment framework from scratch. The client hadn't requested it. I had proposed it during a routine quarterly review. They'd signed a contract extension worth $320,000. Gerald had signed the contract as partner. His name appeared on the client agreement. Mine appeared in the project documentation. 37 separate files, all authored by me, all dated before the contract signature. I saved everything to an encrypted external drive. Thursday morning, Gerald sent a division-wide email. Subject: Client win, petroleum sector expansion. He congratulated the team on securing a major contract extension. He outlined the strategic value of proactive client relationship management. He thanked everyone for their dedication. He mentioned 3 people by name. 2 senior consultants who'd joined the firm 6 months ago. 1 junior analyst who'd been assigned to the project 2 weeks earlier. My name didn't appear. I read the email twice. Then I forwarded it to my personal account. I didn't reply to the thread. No one else mentioned the omission. The basement became routine. I arrived at 7:30 each morning, left at 5:15, ate lunch at my desk. The junior consultants stopped visiting. At first, they'd asked questions: where certain files were stored, how to format client reports, which templates to use for risk assessments. After 2 weeks, the questions stopped. I assumed Gerald had reassigned their supervision. My access to client files remained active. I could see updates in real time. The petroleum project moved forward. New documents appeared in the shared drive: strategy presentations, risk matrices, implementation timelines. None of them were authored by me. But the frameworks were identical to the ones I'd created. The risk categories matched my original assessment structure. The presentation format followed the template I'd designed 18 months earlier. Even the color scheme was the same. I opened the document properties. Author: Gerald Whitmore. Created date: last week. I scrolled through the presentation. Slide 12 showed a process diagram. It was identical to one I'd created in March. Same layout, same terminology, same analytical breakdown. I checked my archive. My original diagram was dated March 14th. File metadata confirmed it. Gerald's version was dated November 19th. I took screenshots of both, saved them in a new folder labeled Comparison, Process Documentation. I didn't send them to anyone. 3 weeks after the office reassignment, I received a meeting invitation. Subject: Performance Review Q4. Organizer: Gerald Whitmore. Location: Conference Room 7B. Time: Friday, 2 p.m. I accepted without comment. Friday arrived. I brought a notebook and a pen. The conference room was on the 3rd floor. I hadn't been to the 3rd floor since the reassignment. Gerald was already seated. He had a folder open in front of him. He didn't look up when I entered. "Close the door," he said. I closed it. "Sit." I sat. He slid a document across the table. "Your Q4 performance summary." I picked it up. The document was 3 pages, standard firm template. Ratings in 6 categories: client engagement, analytical output, collaboration, initiative, professionalism, strategic contribution. 4 categories were rated meets expectations. 2 were rated below expectations. Initiative, strategic contribution. I read the comments section. Analyst has demonstrated adequate technical skills, but has not contributed proactive client development strategies this quarter. Limited evidence of independent strategic thinking. Recommend increased focus on value-added client engagement. I set the document down. "Do you have questions?" Gerald asked. "No." "You understand the ratings?" "Yes." He leaned back. "Your output has been acceptable, but you're a level 3 analyst. We expect more than acceptable." I didn't respond. "The firm is expanding. We need people who drive client growth, not just people who execute tasks." I kept my expression neutral. "Do you have anything you'd like to add?" he asked. "No." He closed the folder. "You can go." I stood, took the performance summary with me, walked back to the basement. I scanned the document, saved it to my archive. Then I opened my personnel file. The firm's internal HR system maintained employment records, contracts, amendments, performance reviews, compensation history. I downloaded my entire file, 230 pages. Page 47 contained my employment contract. Section 9.3, Intellectual Property and Work Product. All analysis, reports, frameworks, methodologies, and client materials created by employee during the term of employment shall be considered work product of the firm. Employee retains no individual claim to authorship or attribution except where explicitly documented in client-facing materials or internal project records. I read it 3 times. Then I checked the project records. Every file I'd created had my name in the metadata. Every email had my signature. Every client meeting summary listed me as the primary analyst. The contract said work product belonged to the firm. It didn't say the firm could reassign authorship retroactively. It didn't say documentation could be altered. I opened Section 12.1, Performance and Evaluation Standards. Performance evaluations shall be based on documented contributions during the evaluation period. Contributions include client deliverables, strategic initiatives, and measurable business development outcomes authored or led by employee. I highlighted the phrase, authored or led by employee. Then I cross-referenced the petroleum project timeline. My initial proposal, March 14th. Client contract signature, September 22nd. My office reassignment, October 30th. Gerald's congratulatory email, November 21st. My performance review citing lack of strategic contribution, December 13th. I created a timeline document, listed every date, every document, every email. Then I checked the firm's organizational chart. Gerald reported to the regional director. The regional director reported to the managing partner. The managing partner reported to the board. I saved the chart. December became routine. I worked on maintenance projects, small audits, data verification tasks, nothing client-facing. My inbox was quiet. The petroleum project progressed without me. I watched the shared drive. New documents appeared weekly. Mid-December, the firm announced a year-end client presentation. The petroleum company's executive team was flying to Brisbane. Gerald would present the completed assessment framework. The presentation was scheduled for January 8th. I wasn't invited. I reviewed the presentation file in the shared drive. 63 slides. Author, Gerald Whitmore. I compared it against my archived materials. 41 slides contained content directly from my original work. Same language, same analysis structure, same diagrams. I documented every match, created a side-by-side comparison file, saved it. December 20th. The firm closed for the holiday break. I spent Christmas reviewing my archive. Everything was organized, chronological, cross-referenced. I had a complete record of 14 months of work, all of it time-stamped, all of it authored by me. I also had Gerald's performance review, his email taking credit, his presentation built from my materials. I had the employment contract, Section 9.3, Section 12.1. I didn't know yet what I'd do with it, but I knew it was complete. January 3rd. The office reopened. I returned to the basement. My first email was a calendar invitation. Subject: all staff meeting, Q4 results and strategic priorities. Date: January 7th. Location: main conference hall. Mandatory attendance. I accepted. January 7th arrived. The conference hall was full. 60 people from the consulting division, partners at the front, analysts in the back. I sat in the last row. The managing partner opened the meeting, reviewed revenue targets, discussed expansion plans. Then he introduced Gerald. Our next speaker led one of our most successful client engagements this year. The petroleum sector assessment resulted in a major contract extension and positioned us for ongoing work in environmental compliance. Gerald, please share the strategic approach. Gerald stood, walked to the podium. He opened his presentation. Slide 1. Proactive Client Development, a Case Study. I watched him present my work. He described the assessment framework, explained the compliance gap analysis, outlined the risk mitigation strategy. He used the exact terminology I'd created. He showed the process diagram I'd designed. He took credit for the client relationship I'd built. No one questioned it. The presentation lasted 20 minutes. When he finished, the managing partner thanked him. "This is the kind of strategic thinking we need across all client accounts," he said. People applauded. I didn't. The meeting ended at 11:30. I went back to the basement, opened my archive. I had everything I needed. I just needed to know where to send it. January 8th, the petroleum client presentation. I wasn't invited, but I had access to the calendar system. I could see the meeting details. Conference room 3A, 9 o'clock. Duration, 2 hours. Attendees, Gerald Whitmore, 2 senior consultants, the regional director, 3 executives from the petroleum company. I checked the shared drive at 10:15. A new folder had been created. Client deliverables, final. Inside, the presentation file, marked as presented. Also inside, a client feedback form. I opened it. The petroleum executives had rated the presentation. Overall score, 9.2 out of 10. Comments. Exceptional strategic insight. Framework is exactly what we needed. Looking forward to continued partnership. At the bottom, lead consultant, Gerald Whitmore. I closed the file, opened my email, drafted a new message. To blank. Subject, documentation review, personnel matter. I stopped. I didn't know who to send it to yet. Regional director? He'd been CC'd on the reassignment email. He'd attended Gerald's client presentation. Managing partner? He'd praised Gerald publicly. HR? They'd received the reassignment notice without objection. I needed someone with authority over all of them. I opened the organizational chart again. The board met quarterly. Next meeting, January 28th. Board members included 3 external advisors. One was a compliance attorney. One was a former partner. One was an academic specializing in corporate governance. I checked the firm's bylaws, available on the internal portal. Section 6.4, Employee Grievance and Compliance Reporting. Employees may submit documentation of policy violations or ethical concerns directly to the Board Governance Committee. All submissions are reviewed confidentially. Retaliation for good faith reporting is prohibited. I read the section twice. Then I checked the submission process. A dedicated email address, monitored by the board secretary. All submissions required supporting documentation. I had documentation. I began drafting. The email took 3 days to write. I kept it factual, chronological, no emotion. I outlined the reassignment, the contract language, the performance review, the authorship evidence. I attached 23 files. My employment contract with highlighted sections, project files with original creation dates and metadata, email correspondence with clients showing my direct involvement, Gerald's presentation with side-by-side comparisons to my work, the performance review citing lack of strategic contribution, the timeline showing work reassignment after office move, the all-staff meeting announcement where Gerald presented my work, the client feedback form crediting Gerald. I wrote a single summary paragraph. I am submitting this documentation per Section 6.4 of firm bylaws. The attached materials demonstrate a pattern of work product reassignment following my office relocation on October 30th. My Q4 performance review cited lack of strategic contribution during the same period when my client work was reassigned to senior leadership. I am requesting board review of adherence to Section 12.1 of employee contracts regarding documented contributions and evaluation standards. I didn't accuse anyone. I didn't request specific action. I just presented the facts. I read the email 5 times. Then I sent it. Date, January 11th. Time, 6:47 p.m. I received an automated response immediately. Your submission has been received by the Board Governance Committee. All materials will be reviewed confidentially. You will receive a response within 15 business days. I closed my laptop, went home. 2 weeks passed. Nothing changed. I continued working in the basement. Gerald continued managing the petroleum account. I didn't hear from the board. I didn't hear from HR. I didn't hear from anyone. January 28th arrived, board meeting day. I checked the calendar system. The meeting was listed as closed session, board members only, duration 4 hours. I worked through the day normally. At 4:30, I received an email. Sender, board secretary. Subject, documentation review, personnel matter. Your submission has been reviewed by the governance committee. An investigation has been initiated per firm policy. You will be contacted by an external investigator within 5 business days. Please continue normal work duties during this period. Per section 6.4, any retaliation for this submission is prohibited and should be reported immediately. I saved the email. Continued working. February 2nd. I received a meeting invitation. Subject, confidential discussion, personnel investigation. Organizer, external email address I didn't recognize. Location, off-site. Address provided separately. I accepted. The meeting was scheduled for February 5th, 10 o'clock. The address was a law office, 15 minutes from the firm's building. I arrived at 9:50. A woman met me in the lobby, mid-50s, professional suit. Fiona? Yes. I'm Catherine Hale. I've been retained by the board to review your submission. This is a confidential discussion. Nothing you say here will be shared with firm management unless it's part of the final report. Do you understand? Yes. She led me to a conference room. The meeting lasted 2 hours. She asked about the timeline, the reassignment, the performance review, the client work. I walked through everything, showed her the documentation. She took notes. Did you raise concerns about the reassignment at the time it occurred? She asked. No. Why not? It was presented as a facilities decision. I had no grounds to object. Did you raise concerns about the meeting reassignments? No. The performance review? No. Why not? I was documenting. I wanted a complete record before raising the issue. She looked at me. You waited 3 months. Yes. That's unusual. I needed to be certain. She made another note. Did anyone else witness these events? The reassignment email went to 63 people. The all-staff meeting had 60 attendees. The performance review was one-on-one. Did anyone comment on the reassignment? One junior consultant asked if I was okay. I said I was fine. Did anyone comment on Gerald presenting your work? No. She closed her notebook. I'll need to interview several people. Gerald Whitmore, the regional director, HR, possibly some junior staff. This will take approximately 3 weeks. You'll receive a copy of my findings. So will the board. Understood. Continue your normal work. Don't discuss this investigation with anyone at the firm. I won't. She stood. Thank you for your time. I left, went back to the basement. February passed slowly. I saw Gerald twice, once in the parking garage, once in the main lobby. He didn't acknowledge me either time. My work continued. Small projects, data reviews, nothing changed. February 26th, I received another email from the board secretary. Subject: Investigation complete. Board review scheduled. The external investigation has concluded. Findings will be presented to the full board at the March 12th meeting. You will receive notification of any decisions within 48 hours of that meeting. I marked the date, March 12th, 2 weeks away. March 12th arrived. I worked normally, checked my email every hour, nothing. The day ended, still nothing. March 13th, morning, 9:15. Email from the board secretary. Subject: Board decision, personnel matter resolution. I opened it. The Board Governance Committee has completed its review of the investigation into your personnel matter submission. The investigation found documentation supporting your claims regarding work product authorship and performance evaluation inconsistencies. The board has determined that firm policies were not followed in several respects. Performance evaluations must reflect documented contributions. Your Q4 review did not accurately represent your measurable work product during the evaluation period. Work product authorship must be preserved in internal records. Metadata and project documentation support your role as primary author on the petroleum sector assessment. Office reassignments require consultation per employee contracts. This consultation did not occur. The board has directed the following actions. Your Q4 performance review will be amended and reissued. You will receive retroactive credit for client development work completed between March and October. Your office assignment will be reviewed and corrected. Senior leadership will undergo mandatory training on attribution and evaluation standards. Additionally, the board has determined that your role in the petroleum sector engagement warrants recognition. You will be reassigned as lead analyst on all ongoing petroleum client work, effective immediately. The managing partner will contact you directly to discuss these changes. Per Section 6.4, retaliation for your good faith report is strictly prohibited. Any concerns should be reported to the Governance Committee immediately. I read it 3 times. Then I saved it. 11 o'clock, my phone rang. Managing partner. Fiona, do you have a few minutes? Yes. Can you come to my office? Now? If possible. I went upstairs. His office was on the executive floor. Corner view. Large desk. He gestured to a chair. I sat. I've reviewed the board's decision, he said. I want to apologize. The reassignment should never have happened the way it did. Your contributions weren't properly recognized. I didn't respond. We're moving you back to the 3rd floor. You'll have your original office by end of week. The petroleum account is yours. Gerald will transition all materials to you. Understood. Your amended performance review will reflect your actual contributions. It's being finalized today. Thank you. He paused. I also want you to know this kind of oversight won't happen again. We're implementing new procedures for work attribution and evaluation. I nodded. Do you have any questions? No. You can return to work. HR will coordinate the office move. I stood. Fiona, he said. I turned. Your documentation was thorough. That took significant effort. It was necessary. I left. March 18th. I moved back to the 3rd floor. Same office, same window. The junior consultant started visiting again. Questions about templates, client protocols, report formatting. I answered them. Gerald's name disappeared from the petroleum project files. Mine replaced it. The client's next quarterly review was scheduled for April. I was listed as the lead consultant. April 3rd. I received my amended Q4 performance review. All categories exceeds expectations. Comment section. Analyst demonstrated exceptional strategic initiative in developing the petroleum sector assessment framework. Led proactive client engagement resulting in significant contract extension. Work product reflects advanced analytical capabilities and independent strategic thinking. I filed it. May 15th. Gerald resigned. The announcement said he was pursuing opportunities elsewhere. I didn't ask for details. June 1st. I was promoted to senior analyst. The petroleum client signed another contract extension. I continued working. Nothing dramatic, nothing public, just documented contributions, recognized properly, the way it should have been from the start.